pushback of some fans who will say we need a salary cap. Got to have that salary cap. It's the only way to fix this. And it infuriates me at times because, again, it's all that only is trying to save the owners more money than they're already making.
Yeah. So you guys are all against the salary cap is what I'm guessing.
Yeah, I mean, I understand the desire because there are a bunch of teams that aren't spending, including the Tigers, really, right? So people want, like, hey, give everybody the same money. But that is like Duke was saying earlier, it's basically artificial wage suppression. They're gonna cap the amount of money. It's at least this way, the total amount of money in the sport is always going to go up. Maybe not as much as we'd like to, or in the ways it does. Like I was reading somebody's pointing out that it's basically been 20 plus years since A-Rod kind of pushed what did he get? 10 years and 250 million from the Rangers, right?
Yep.
That would still be kind of an enormous contract now, right? People still go, wow, 10 years, 250 million. That was 22 years ago. And they've been able to kind of keep the upper end of contracts in that same range for 20 plus years. By all means, like, and A-Rod was, of course, a generation player. But you've got, like a Mookie Betts and a Mike Trout. They're up in the $300-400 million range. But it should be, by all rights, it should be up there for a lot of free agents. And I guess we're starting to see it, but the owners have their way of kind of just, none of us are going to offer these deals, but things are changing a little bit. And like I said, like the guy who was in the front, if it works, everybody's going to try to catch up. And if that means spending more money, that's great. And a salary cap would prevent that from happening. It would theoretically create more parity, but I don't know. I mean, we've seen teams do it pretty cheap. Like the Rays and the Guardians are two of the top 10 teams among projected WAR next year. The rest of the teams spend a bunch of money, but other teams have found ways to succeed. So, I don't think salary cap would actually really increase parity any more than it already is.
And I don't think the salary floor does what a lot of people think either, because I think you would get a few teams spend. They would need to spend more to get to whatever that artificial level is. Let's say 100 million, just for fun, because it's the easy number. Okay, so everybody under 100 got to get up to over 100. But now I still believe that teams that are around 115, 125, 130, they're going to gravitate back toward 100 because, hey, they can just put up their arms and say, hey, we satisfied the rule. Don't come after us.
And I also think it would result in fewer free agent signings trying to compete than people think. It would probably result in a lot more of those kind of extensions for young players. Yeah. Like, we'll just, instead of paying a guy $15 million a year, we'll sign Riley Green to, $8 million a year for the next 10 years, something like that. It's like, well, that doesn't help much, does it? I mean, sure, get the young guys paid, but so, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, salary cap stuff does seem to work in other sports. In the NBA, guys still make great salaries and things like that. It's not great for the NFL, but the NFL somehow still gotten away without guaranteed contracts. Blows my mind. But I don't want to see that in baseball. Like, I think that the caps on draft spending and international spending are a bridge too far for me. But
absolutely,